Ladies and gentlemen, so with so much going on our cyberspace connected to both politics, social life, and of course religion, well, we have a well-respected man. In fact, he is the leader of a conservative church, Deeper Life Bible Ministry. He's called WF KUMUYI. Well, not so long ago, he said he is going to do away with certain doctrines, human doctrines, meaning extras that he added that has nothing to do with the Bible. But he has something to say to ADEBOYE. He has something to say to OYEDEPO. He has something to say to Ibiyomi. He has something to say to Paul and Enche. He has something to say to all the wannabes and already established bishop, archbishop, pope, evangelist, major 1, major 2, prophet, senior prophet, junior prophet, high tension, high pole, whatever title status. He has something to say to them as per what is going on right now about money, prosperity, preaching, teaching, tithe, offering, first fruit, second fruit, Isaac offering, and all of that. He has something to say to them. And I want you to pay attention because it is getting very hot. Very, very hot. You'll also be listening to Abel DAMINA. You'll also be listening to every one of these people that I have mentioned. You'll be listening to them. You know, in Nigeria, we have the Group A. The Group A are the, they call them generals of faith. They call them generals of faith. We have them. We have the Group B. We have the Group C. We have the Group D. We have the Group E. And it goes all the way down. Do not forget to like and share. Don't forget to tap on the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell. Let's get right into it.
Sammy, check up. All those people who have given everything as the prophets told them in our land, where are they today? How are they feeling? How are their children doing? How are they sending their children to school instead of the prophet that already has millions, a millionaire already, instead of him looking for the widows and say, your children who are not in school, what do you want to do? What do you want to read? And then sponsor them just for God's glory. We don't have that. We only have the people that take from the widows and they render them poorer. And they are getting richer and richer. The preachers of today, they're getting richer at the expense of the members of their church. Let somebody speak out. Let somebody tell our prophets, our preachers, our bishops, that this ought not to be.
To be cheap. That's why, number one, I want to call on those of you who believe you are in the top 10, who by the grace of God can give 1 billion naira. You should please see my secretary in the office tonight for a very special announcement. And then there will be some of you who can say, Daddy, I wish I can give 1 billion, but all I can afford is 100 million. Such people should also see my secretary after the program tonight.
Why would you punish protocol? Keep them in the hotel. Keep them in the hotel. I remember when we used to preach the materialistic gospel because it was about showmanship. How many of you know the materialistic gospel is about showmanship? You line up escort car, you line up pilot car, 2-3 cars, you are in the middle. And then sometimes the protocol will have to come out and be running with their legs. And you're inside the car. And these are brethren in Christ. These are sons of God. See how they are running and they can even fall. And then you come out of the car like a superstar. You bring out one leg first. You know, they have to learn it. You bring out one leg first. You stretch your head. Then the photographer will snap it so that they see the kind of car you're coming out from. Then you come down. Then they snap another one. They see the line of cars you are standing by. Then you take another step. And you put the legs in a way where the shoes can be captured. Because the shoe is part of the ministry. It's a total showmanship, that useless, smelling gospel called prosperity gospel. Showmanship, oppressive, and fraudulent.
You must release to the level of his blessings on your life, or on your way to the grave.
That idea of telling you just give and you will prosper is a scam.
All right, good afternoon, good morning, my fellow Nigerians. Ranka Dede, Sonide Swa, Igbo Kwenu. I have 35 seconds, so I need to hear it. Now, Nigeria has come out of recession, but now we are in famine. So I would like to advise you, my brothers and my sisters, if you cannot afford to buy food, start growing your own. Yes, and let's get back to trade and barter system. If you have beans, give somebody that has gari, exchange. If you have rice, give somebody else. That's the only way, because the amount of letters we are getting nowadays requesting for financial assistance. Some jokers are even asking that can we sponsor them to go to school in Russia. Is it work up? Is it work up? Why not go to regular school in Nigeria? And who even has money? If we didn't save when there was plenty, why would we have something to be even eating now when it's famine? Anyway, God bless you. I don't overshoot my time. This is just my own daily report. Lima Alpha. Obviously not in Nigeria. Feel the cap, feel the sunglasses. God bless you.
Been stealing for too long. And the thief has been caught. That's why there's celebration in the land.
David, let me prove God. If you think I didn't prove God, I gave one. If you can get angry, I don't care. I gave God $1 million when I had no house. You think I didn't prove God? If Bible was to be written, my name would have been written. In fact, my own would have been bigger than Solomon because Solomon had money when he gave. Me, I gave when there was no house. If you think it's easy, go and give your money. $1 million. $1 million. I had no block, not even foundation. I proved God, though. All people talking in the teach prosperity, they better do what I did. Nobody's qualified to criticize me on prosperity until you do what I've done.
When light comes, people should be ready to put darkness out. I mean, why will you not do what is dead already? And the more they are trying to push this title, it's not working.
Yes.
Because people have seen
people
that.
People are still questioning it.
What is this?
If tithes and offerings will open the windows of heaven, according to Malachi chapter 3 and in verse 10, how much more when your life is, when you are not just giving, but you are the seed.
A preacher once said that God asked him for money. So he brought out 1 million. Then God said to him, stupid boy, is that what you give to your governors? Then he now changed the check for a bigger amount. Then God said, good boy. Now whether you like it or not, I am going to bless you. He now told his congregation, this boy loves God. Of course, when he tells his congregation, they will be motivated to drop their own money. Both the first check and the second check are all going where? To his account. And the one that they will now be motivated to drop. And this boy loves God. You sow into my life, you will become a millionaire. He's coming you. He's coming you.
Somebody asked me, why is it that in your church they don't talk about, rapture? It's not that we don't believe it, but we are not sent to preach it. It's not everything you believe you preach. Everyone is assigned to a particular way, to a particular assignment. Why is it that we don't preach about hellfire? Don't we believe it? Believe it very well. Satan and all who follow him will go there. But we are not sent to preach it.
Because the law was not given to the world. It was given to the Jews who were on their way from Egypt to the promised land. Those are the people Moses gave the laws to, because the laws are not for Gentiles. But Jesus took it out of the way and gave us a new and living way. Right. So the New Testament started in the book of Acts. No tithing. What did they have? Generosity. People sold lands and houses
and they shared
and
amongst
everything,
them.
and they shared to take care of people's needs in the church, which is the love work. That was the emphasis of the New Testament. So I began to teach this in my church. So tithing stopped and everything stopped. We couldn't afford to pay for our TV station, so we shut down our TV station. We couldn't even pay staff salaries, so we had to keep just a few cent orders away and apologize to them. And then I told my family, I said, guys, it's no more business as usual. We have to downsize. I began to teach them contentment, because that's what the gospel of Christ brings. Right. It brings contentment. The other gospel brings greed, avarice. You want to get more. The more you get, the more you want to get. The more you get, the more you want to get. And like I've always said, all the prosperity preachers are the only beneficiaries of that gospel, because everybody gives to them and they give to nobody else. They keep collecting. And even if they give, it is because they intend to use that as a bait to collect a bigger one. So it's a selfish gospel, and that's not the gospel Christ brought to us. The gospel Christ brought to us is that, he that loveth his life shall lose it. He that loseth his life shall gain it. A man's life does not consist in the abundance of things he possesses. That's the gospel Christ brought us. He said, he has died for us, leaving an example for us that we should follow in his steps. For the Son of Man came not to be ministered to, but to minister and give his life a ransom for many. And then Paul will say, seeing that Christ died for us, henceforth we also ought to lay down our lives for the brethren. That's the New Testament. Okay, but in the tithing thing, the tithing message is all about give. And the man of God keeps collecting it. And then they scare you with fear and manipulation. If you don't pay your tithe, things will be tight. If you don't pay your tithe, devourers will come. If you don't pay your tithe, your business will collapse. If you don't pay your tithe, and out of manipulation, people in fear are paying tithe. And I did that in my church. But watch this. When I began to teach the truth, everybody in church stopped tithing and stopped giving. So I went to God in prayer and I said, God, is there something I have done that is not right? And then the Lord said to me, they never gave to me.
Why were they giving?
They gave to their fear. They were not giving to God. They were giving to the fear. So when they discovered there's nothing to fear anymore, the true intent of their heart was exposed. They never give again.
So there's a lot of fear transmission from the pulpit on the Sunday morning when talking about giving and tithing. There's a lot of fear that is transmitted to the hearts of people.
You cannot get it from the people if you don't inflict them with fear.
So fear is a major element around this whole prosperity
That's what
gospel.
the prosperity gospel sells. It thrives on fear. You don't sow, you can't get. And it's character assassination on God. Because God now is projected as a businessman.
Right. It's a transaction.
Yes, a transactionary gospel where you have to give to get, to give to get. And then even the prayers they pray is transactionary. You sow, you can't give a prayer because without money. You must put money on it. Because God will not answer the prayer if there's no money attached. So it's still part of the scam.
Right.
I call it a scam.
It's a scam, start to finish.
That's what it is.
A lot of them are scams.
It's a scam. So, and the gullible followers who don't know better think when you speak about it, you're being envious of their pastor. And we're going to get more louder because that whole thing has to give way. Let me be honest with you. There are pastors in Africa. If you take giving money, tithing out of ministry, they will no more do ministry.
Welcome back. Well, Abel Damina has expressed it as it should be, and also Pastor W.F. KUMUYI, he has also broken it down as simple as it should be. Which of it are you willing to embrace? Abel Damina talked about how he started losing money in church. I mean, people were not bringing in money because they gave out of fear, such as if you don't pay your tithe, you will go to hell. Imagine this threat repeated for years, for 20, 30, 40 years. Imagine how people gave because they were afraid that cankerworms was going to hit into their income. Imagine stories such as Jesus Christ did not tithe. That is why he passed away at the age of 33. That's why he was crucified. That he could have been crucified at the age of 60 or 70. So, have you heard someone say that Job did not tithe? That is the reason why he, as a person, could not retain. That is why Lucifer touched him. Because if he had tithed, Lucifer would not have been able. In fact, God would not have been able because God is a God of principle. God would say, no, he tithes to me. In blessing, God blessed Job. But Job was not bringing back 10%. That there is no way if Job had been tithing 10% and maybe even more, that devil would have been able to touch him. Now, that verse, God gave instructions. Touch everything, but don't touch his life. Touch everything, but don't touch his own life. Wife, children, all that he acquired, even his health was touched. He became a sick man. Boils and sores all over his body. According to Bishop OYEDEPO, if he had tithed, there will be no way at all that devil would have been able to touch what has been protected. But God blessed him. Now, the question is this: what did Job do that brought the blessings of God on him? What is he doing? Is he praying? Is he hardworking? Was he giving offerings but not tithe? What was he doing? Was he not practicing what Cain and Abel practiced? Giving offerings, which is tithe, if we have to put it that way. You all know the story of Cain and Abel. Yeah. So what did Job do that brought the blessings of God? What made his livestock, his vineyard, everything? What made him prosperous? What did he do? Only offerings? But he didn't target tithe. Like, okay, God, I'm giving back 10% to you. Where should I burn it? Where should I burn it? And was he instructed and he did not do it? Was it existing and he did not do it? Now, let's leave that aside and proceed. W.F. Kumuyi made it clear that you bishops, pastors, archbishop, pope bishop, evangelist, senior prophet, major 1, 2, 3, whatever you call yourself, GO, mommy GOs, you guys fleece members. You take from the poor. You take from this. Most of the times they come out bragging, saying, do you guys think your offerings and tithe is what we live on? You think that's what we use in maintaining our lifestyle? Well, some of them have businesses, but the question you should ask is this: prior to their ministry, did they have the capital? Did they have the capital to start the business? Or the business they started came from offerings, seeds, first fruit, Isaac offering, Jacob offering? Where did the money come from? Unless you are already established as a person. There are people who are established. They already had businesses, or they had income, they had money, they started their business and they had something. But somehow, church ministry came into it. That's for those that God really called. Not their stomach calling them, not greed, not someone else calling them. And money came into it from the church also. But they make it appear as if, no, that's not what we... In fact, I've listened to OYEDEPO saying such. Like, we've never sent our children to school via... Maybe his kids got scholarship to one of those theology colleges in America from some spiritual mentor or whatever it is. So many of them do speak, and they brag and speak in such a way to convince you to give to them and make you believe that what you are giving is not what they are living on. So you will not have any sense of entitlement. So they keep repeating the same thing. People listen to them, but deep in your heart, you will know that this cannot be true. What job does our pastor have apart from this? What business does he run apart from this? Yes, if the offerings are too little, if you have a small church, or you have decided within yourself, inside of your mind, offerings I am not going to touch, because majority will say certain things on their offerings and say, oh God, if you take away this sickness, blah, 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 and they put the money down in the offering box, but not tithe. Monthly, it is rare. It is given out of fear, yes, given out of whatever doctrines has been put into your mind. People give that money because they have been mandated to. They don't come saying, oh God, as I'm giving you this tithe, this is not something that people will often do. They do that one out of fear. The pastor will take the tithe. That is if the tithe is heavy. If he has a big church, it's a different thing. If he has a small church, maybe it will be like, oh, your tithe. But they have their first fruit, and they have people who come to speak to pastor behind, and he bills them, tells them, sow a seed, every seed, and don't worry. The thing is this: after you have finished sowing the seed, if you don't get what you are expecting to get, you're on your own. Which platform will you go to announce that I didn't get what I wanted? You will be told, did he force you? So Pastor KUMUYI has made it clear. They take from the poor, the widow, the impoverished, they keep taking. Same as Damina said, that prosperity preaching or give is beneficiary or beneficial, or the beneficiary of it is the pastor. They are the ones benefiting from it, not you. This brings me to this proverb. If a whole village cooks for a family of 5, will they be able to finish it? They will have excess. They will not be able to finish it. They will have so much. But if that family of 5 cooks for a whole village, will they be able to feed the village? No. The same applies to entertainment. Industry. A music artist going for a tour all over the place with millions of people in attendance. Why wouldn't he be rich? It will be richer than you, obviously, because your all funding is talent, skill. Your funding is lifestyle. It will be richer than you. It's common sense. Now, what about the part that is missing that W.F. KUMUYI pointed out? Give and it shall be given unto you. This does not apply to some of these pastors. They only give elaborate stories like what Ibiyomi said just now. They are giving $1 million when he had no house, he had no car, he had not. I'm wondering maybe he got that $1 million from oil bunkering where he's located. Because he's located where activities of oil and some other, who knows what and what he did or who came to him. Well, many people believe that he's simply lying. He said he gave $1 million. We know he is one of the spiritual sons of Bishop OYEDEPO, that will also tell you about someone that gave 1 billion naira, that God led him and he knows where he was and where he is now. So when you hear these stories and you hear about these things, and don't forget that giving at times could be a competitive one in church. But the truth of the matter is this: if you listen to those who have spiritual eyes that can see, they will tell you that someone came to me, he gave 1 million naira. Another woman came and dropped just 1 naira. According to this person, in the spirit realm, I saw the woman with 1 naira being blessed. Whatever it is that she has on her heart as a problem, God solved, signed, and sealed in the spirit. But the man with 1 million naira didn't get nothing. But preachers don't want you to think in that way. They want you to believe that the more you bring it into the pocket, bring it into the hands of, bring it into the basket. It's like a transactional, like a business, like a trade by barter thing. And they will quote scriptures, take a portion of it, and tell you that this person did this and this is what happened. That this person said, no. I will never ever take this from you without paying for it. And you'll be like, but he's paying for a land. How does paying for a land now have to do with what you're expecting from God, the Almighty, the owner of heaven and earth, the creator of... God does not need land. We are talking about transaction between man and man, between human beings. How they connect it to the Bible, I don't get it. Well, how they connect it to spiritual things does not make sense, because the Bible contains social life, religion, which is faith, and all of that contains faith, social life, and all of that. They connect it together and say, because the person needed that piece of land as a place to offer sacrifice to God, so he needed to pay. So you too. They connect these things together. Now, I don't have issues with funding ministry. I've said it times without number. It would be stupid to say, no, don't fund ministry. As long as you know where you are funding is where God exists, not where you have been lied to, manipulated, showmanship. And you saw all of the showmanship thing that Damina talked about. He said he was into this, that it's always about the person, always about the person. And they know how to give elaborate stories. I'm not saying that people have not paid their dues. Yes, there are people who have paid their dues. But the major of it is this: regardless, what are you giving back? You heard from the son of ADEBOYE how ridiculous it sounded. First fruit, it will be the one to remind people by December. It will be the one to remind people of first fruit of January, asking them to bring all their salary, their wages for January, to come and give to his father. Put it in the pocket of his father. I don't know, maybe for whatever reasons his father needs to use it for. And maybe for himself too, that they need it. Imagine, he said he's also giving. And I'm wondering, you are giving into the same pocket that you are eating from, but are the members eating from it? That is where the issue lies. And that is what WF KUMUYI is talking about. We should bring our first fruit. Okay, we don't mind. But are we going to eat from that same big basket? No. That's where the issue is. That's where the problem lies. What is the purpose of tithe? It is to make sure that there is plenty. Nothing more. Plenty for everybody. Not just pastors.